up next after a Week 13 bye. The Browns will play the Ravens in back-to-back games. Baltimore looking for the series sweep in consecutive seasons. This AFC North battle is coming your way next.
The folks here, they are bundled up, but they're ready for football as you get a look at First Energy Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio. The folks here in Cleveland, even though all the down years have never stopped supporting their hometown guys, and we got evidence of that a moment ago as the Browns made their entrance. They are ready to do battle with the Baltimore Ravens. Alongside my broadcast partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And CD, this is a passing league. I don't think you would argue that thought. But our ball game here features a couple of teams with strong offensive lines that really like to work the ground game. And you and I have both heard from different people in the league who's saying there's becoming a little bit of a lost art in the NFL, the ability to run the football. And we've heard from defensive coordinators who tell us that they play the pass first. That's not something you normally hear. But these two offenses, they're true to who they are. Both ranked in the top 5 in terms of rushing yardage. And they're both going to use those massive offensive lines to try and wear down these defenses. Two teams trying to stake their claim to postseason football. Week 14 of the NFL is underway. No run back here on the opening kickoff as we'll start at the 25. Time to see this wide-open Baltimore offense go to work, and leading them, pretty darn good one, Lamar Jackson out of Louisville. After seeing what he did last week, throwing 4 touchdown passes, I had to go to my thesaurus to try and come up with some great words for what he did. I'm still coming up blank. He was scintillating. I'm going simple. I don't have your thesaurus. I'm going dynamite. He was dynamite. I'll take it. And they'll come out with a 3 tight end look on the first play of the drive. To throw is Jackson. That one tipped, and it's incomplete. Good hands there defensively at second down. This defense, Charles, really played well in that win a week ago. Yeah, what stood out to me on tape, the way they were flying to the football. So that tells me that they've got all their assignments down, and they're playing with extreme confidence. 2nd and 10, a very chilly day here, but no snow. And I got to say, if it's going to be this cold, I want snow. You should see Charles' face. He's looking at me like I'm crazy. And he'll be out right at the 35. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard. A collegiate star here in the Buckeye State, it's J.K. Dobbins. Oh, that's just not fair, and now room to run. 20! And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. So there, Charles, I mean, a situation where it didn't matter how far he had to run, he was not going to be denied, and he winds up taking this all the way to the end zone. And what was impressive to me is not just how much he wanted it, but how he fashioned it. I mean, he was shedding tacklers left and right, evading tacklers left and right, and when you think about the energy it takes to ward guys off, that's really impressive. He still managed to keep his balance and turn this into a fantastic run. Tucker with the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. So a 75-yard scoring drive on just 3 plays. And it's finished off by a touchdown run from J.K. Dobbins. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. Taking it about the 1. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19. And for the first time, here comes the Cleveland Browns offense. Quarterbacked by Baker Mayfield, 4th-year man from Oklahoma. And I'll bet he's talking to his guys about resisting the temptation to try and turn this into an up-and-down game. Almost like basketball, where both teams press and one team gets an advantage. Our team's trying to run with them, and they're just not equipped for it. Doesn't matter whether you're equipped or not. Just settle in
Get calm before you go for the big strikes.
First carry for Nick Chubb. And not a whole lot to speak of there as they'll bring him down shy of the 20. The All-Pro Justin Houston in on the tackle.
Well, this defense for the Ravens, they were excellent a week ago in the win over Pittsburgh.
But we certainly had a nice conversation with the defensive coordinator, didn't we? And what we heard, I like what we did, but we definitely need more pressure on the quarterback this week.
He'll be dropped at the 25 after a gain of 6. A lot of running backs, a little bit of a disadvantage when you start talking MVP. Might not be the case this year. You think he's got a shot, don't you?
I do. I think he's got more than a shot, but what he's going to need here down the stretch this late in the season, he needs that big closing game, that game that we're all going to reflect on and go, oh my goodness, did he put up a number, let's say 200 plus?
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. To throw, Mayfield. He's got the hook up to Odell Beckham. Touchdown! Odell Beckham hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Browns are within an extra point of tying this thing up.
Well, normally the first thing most fans think of with Odell Beckham are the one-handed catches, right? But he's also pretty darn good, Charles, with the ball already in his hands.
And that should serve as a big warning to this defense. They know now that they have to stick close to these receivers because they have the ability to break games wide open after the catch. And that one wound up in the end zone.
And the next-gen stats show us the tale of how much yardage he was able to tack on after the catch.
Chase McLaughlin on for the extra point. It's up and good. So these teams match touchdowns here in the first quarter, and we're tied 7-7. Just a 4-play drive that time, and it's capped off by the Browns' touchdown. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away.
No run back here for Duvernay. Touchback out to the 25.
Let's go.
The Ravens heading out on offense as we look at the playoff picture in the AFC.
And as we take a look at the playoff picture, certainly still a lot of jostling to go in these final few weeks. For the moment, they would be a wild card team, far from locked up, but that's why this is exciting. These last few weeks, a lot to play for.
So much to play for. And remember, 7 teams in each conference go to the playoffs instead of 6. And not to mention, remember when the league made that move a few seasons ago to put divisional games at the end of the year? So you get to week 16 and 17, you're playing for playoff spots, and you're playing divisional games. Couldn't be more exciting than that.
Well, these two teams met in Cleveland earlier in the year with the Browns coming out on top. So they'll be looking for the win here in Cleveland to complete the season sweep. Now Dobbins again on second down.
It'll be a pickup of a couple, and it leaves them with a 3rd and 3.
Well, every now and then we have to let a cliche fly, partner. And in this case, what do they say in the NFL? Your best ability is often your availability. And this is an extremely durable kid coming out of Ohio State. Carried the ball every time they even thought about running it. Wore down defenses and able to break big runs late in games. J.K. Dobbins.
There he goes left side. 30, 10, and all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Lamar Jackson, 68 yards, and the Ravens have taken the lead.
Well, we've certainly seen this before, CD. No one can quite electrify a crowd like Lamar Jackson, and really don't know what else to say other than that was special right there.
I think you pretty much said it all, but I go back to what you said about electrifying a crowd. He's also electrifying us, and we're calling the game. This guy is simply sensational.
Tucker now for the extra point. It's up and good, and it's 14-7 now here in the first quarter. So a 75-yard scoring drive on just 3 plays. And it was capped off by the touchdown run that came from Lamar Jackson. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This will be fielded inside the 5. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The Browns offense heading out as we take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC. As of this moment, as pretty much everyone knows, they sit alone in that top spot. But nothing is guaranteed. They haven't even clinched the playoffs. So a good start, but a long way to go.
And you know, a blunt veteran inside their locker room has stood up at one point or another and said, you know all of this means nothing so far. We've got to cover this, get it done. What do we want to be? It's like winning a title in August, right, in preseason. Doesn't count. Let's go ahead and get this thing done.
Little razzle-dazzle by OBJ. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. Getting it to him in space pays off big time. That winds up going for 31.
These two teams getting a couple of late season tilts this year. Their first meeting was not too long ago, back in Week 12. And it was the visiting Browns who got the victory then, so they'll look for the season sweep here in Cleveland.
On first down, they'll run with Chubb.
Malik Harrison on the tackle. Well, this defense for the Ravens, they were excellent a week ago in the win over Pittsburgh.
There's a little bit enlightening talking with the defense coordinator about their performance last week, because the feeling was that it was a good, solid performance. They did what they needed to do to get the job done and get the win, but definitely a few lapses that they're looking to correct.
And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's third down.
Brandon, we saw these defenders flying to the football in their win last week, and nothing has changed. They're still moving around quickly and forcing incompletions.
In need of a conversion on third down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. Throwing, Mayfield. Throw left side, complete. That's Higgins.
And he is going to have a Browns first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
But give the defensive guys a little bit of credit. They didn't let the deep ball beat them on that play, did they?
No, the drag, that guy can be your safety valve. We saw it right there.
Yeah, and it picked up a first down for them, too.
And he'll be dropped at the 23 after a pickup of about 4. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Mayfield gives this one to Hunt. Through one quarter, 14-7 our score. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. From the gun, Mayfield escaping the pressure right. He's going to go up top for the end zone. And that is incomplete. Fine work by the Baltimore defense to help bring up 4th down.
Chase McLaughlin for the field goal. A 45-yard attempt.
And this one is right down the middle.
So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away.
Devin Duvernay now returning from the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. Now right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line. He'll start with a handoff to Dobbins. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
And that's what I'd like to see out of this defense. A little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them, but they did do a nice job there, forcing a loss on that play.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Jackson with a handoff to Dobbins on the option. And they'll blow that one up back at the 16-yard line. The tally there, -2 yards, brings up 3rd down.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. From the gun, it's Jackson. Catch is made by Marquise Brown. And he will be very close to a 1st down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down. So on 4th down, here's Sam Cook to punt it away. Back deep, Jarvis Landry. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. Call that a 46-yard punt, though they did get 9 back on the return. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. Odell Beckham now marching back onto the field. Creeping up on 1,000. Could get there on this drive. So a challenge for him to do that, but also defensively maybe a challenge for them to not allow that.
And that means probably kicking even more coverages to his side. And what that really means is wherever he lines up, you will have a cornerback over in his area. Now instead of blitzing your linebacker, drop him into coverage. Instead of the safety dropping into regular coverage, that safety moves into that area to try and discourage the quarterback from going to him. That means everyone else, win your routes. You've got an opportunity to catch passes now too.
Yeah, a little bit of a cat and mouse game. Second down, here's Chubb again. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. No gain that time, and it leaves him with 3rd and 11 coming up.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
On 3rd down, Mayfield. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Hunt. And a pretty nice tackle there, ranging up from his free safety spot as he'll stop him about a yard short. They'll get 10 there, but it leaves him just short for 4th down.
There's another example what defensive coaches constantly preach, not allowing any run after the catch. They give up a few more yards than they wanted to, but they were able to get him down quickly and force a 4th down.
And he's got the 1st down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. A big roll of the dice on 4th and 1, but it pays off. They convert. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. Out of the gun, they run it with Hunt. And very little daylight there. He'll get a couple up to the 44.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
You need your wide receivers as blockers. Sometimes they get a hold.
The big runs are often a result of what they do on the perimeter. In this case, got caught holding, and this one will come back.
He'll let it go deep for Beckham. And this is caught right along the sideline. What a job of keeping the toes in bounds there. And that one results in 35 yards.
When they've needed a play this year, he's certainly been the guy to deliver it. As this season has gone on, he's been awfully consistent and sometimes spectacular.
So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Mayfield looks to throw. Looking for the end zone. And this is caught. Touchdown, Cleveland. Odell Beckham. Touchdown number 2 in the game, and now 11 on the year. And once again, the Browns are back in front. A sensational one-handed grab in the end zone for the score. Looked like you at the Davis Turkey Bowl every year in the backyard in Orlando, Florida.
Oh, you're so kind. That's definitely in my mind. But how about this? They always tell guys going after the ball, the receivers especially, you got to have a single-minded obsession to go get it. How about going up with a single hand and making that happen? I don't know if it gets much better than what we just saw there.
Extra point by McLaughlin is up and good. And it's now 17-14. So that drive goes 8 plays. And it ends with a touchdown for Cleveland. The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away. Devin Duvernay now returning from the end zone. And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's tackled at the 15. Here comes the Raven offense now, ready for another possession. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. He's going to find his tight end, Boyle. They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Jackson. And he's got his receiver. That's Sammy Watkins. Powering his way forward. And he'll be out right at the 35. Jackson to Watkins there for a Baltimore first.
We didn't need to ask around the league, but we got to confirm this guy's a good player. They've got to find a way to get him more involved, call a few more plays that target him.
Absolutely, because here we are toward the end of the first half, and that's the first target, not just the first catch, first target. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Jackson. They set up the screen for Dobbins. The Ravens going to use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. And Jackson throwing once more. Man open left side is Brown. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. 17 yards on the catch and run. It's a first down. Looking for Bateman. He's got him complete. And he's got this down to the 35. 17 more yards. They had 17 on the previous snap as well. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. And Tucker's kick right there. It's good, and that will tie things up as we head toward halftime. So a big play before the end of the half to get them into this spot, and they cash in with 3.
How about the 1-2 to the solar plexus on that one? The big play, the field goal, not much time left on the clock. That's the way to go into the half.
And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The Browns drive about to get started.
And only 6 seconds on the clock, so time likely for just one play.
Forced out to his left. It's caught by Hooper. And they work this well upfield across the 45. So thanks to the late field goal, we are all tied up heading to intermission. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you and Charles in a bit. But first, let's get to some of these scores around the NFL here in a busy Week 14. We'll get started up at Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati. And it's the Bengals who are out in front. Joe Mixon has a run for a touchdown. From there, it's over to our nation's capital to check on the football team at home at FedEx Field. And you can see they trail the visiting Cowboys. Dak Prescott has thrown a touchdown pass. Lastly, let's head up to the Twin Cities to check in on the Vikings at home in Minneapolis. And they were losers in that one to the visiting Pittsburgh Steelers. Najee Harris, a touchdown run in the victory. Next, they look at the next-gen stats for the Ravens in that first half, and there's not much to speak of in terms of passing efficiency. But in a tie game, they know a few tweaks could make a big difference going forward. Meanwhile, for the Browns, we get a look at their numbers on the ground in that first half, as they'll be looking to rev things up here in a tie ball game. With both of these offenses having their way, it's not likely they'll need to be doing a whole lot at halftime. But the defenses are definitely in need of some adjusting. And for the call of the second half, let's go back out to Brandon and Charles.
Thank you, sir. A field goal separates these two teams as we come back for this second half. And ready to get the party started for the second half. It was an even first half, all tied on the scoreboard. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. Beckham and the Browns set to take over again. And anytime a receiver's over 100 yards like he is, maybe the D coordinator scratching his head a little bit. If you're the D coordinator, what are you doing? Whatever he's not doing?
That's the best way to put it, but you have to treat him like the hot shooter in basketball, the guy that's just not missing. You run enough people at him to make him give up the ball in basketball. In this case, you've got to cover him with enough people that they throw the ball to someone else and make them beat you.
The Cleveland offense ready to go.
It's a tie football game here. What do you think, Charles, the message was at halftime?
Well, I think that they probably just looked at things and said, we're fortunate that this is a tie game. No need to panic, no need to change a whole lot. We didn't play anything close to our best in the first half, so we don't have to go out and win one for the Gipper. Let's just go out and play our best football and win one for us.
The third quarter starts with a run by Chubb, and he'll get this one up to the 26. Pernell McPhee in there on the stop. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. They run it again with Chubb, and he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. Mayfield. He'll let it go deep for Beckham.
And this is incomplete. Oh, it looked like he had a pretty good line on that one. That would have been a big play, but he could not pull it in.
This offense converted once on 4th down earlier. Now they're out there again to try once more. Buying time to his left. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. A gutsy call. Turns out to be a good one, though. First down on a pickup of 11.
Not sure I agreed with the decision to go for it, but I definitely agreed with his decision
to run it. He picked up that big first down. I think he let his head coach off the hook.
That's what I was just going to say. If there's anybody more happy than the quarterback picking it up, it's the coach that saw him pick it up. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's third down.
And that's a play to applaud because these RPOs, things happen so quickly. And that ball's out of the quarterback's hands fast. He read it and reacted and was there to hit him as the ball arrived at the receiver. Big-time read, big-time play.
And he is going to have a Browns first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. It's a 10-yard pickup, and that's enough to move the chains. So in Raven territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Mayfield to throw it. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's second down. Third quarter, all tied up. This is 2nd and 10. And again, it's Mayfield. He'll let it go deep for Beckham. And the defense has it covered. It's intercepted. It's Chuck Clark picking it off. And he'll get this back to the 32-yard line. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at about the 32. After the interception, here's Jackson. He's going deep for Brown. And this is dropped. Oh, it's incomplete. He had a big gainer in his sights, but he could not reel it in. He was trying to go back to Hollywood there, but it's going to be second down. Jackson on the give to Dobbins. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
On third down, Jackson. And Jackson cannot get away, and he'll go down. Myles Garrett in there for the sack, and that is now 21 for him on the year. Wow, what a season. Lamar Jackson, for all the talents of escaping pressure that he possesses, he was helpless to do much of anything there. He had no chance.
And it appears that this was just a letdown from the offensive line, but they do have a tough job because if you're a big tackle out there on the perimeter, sometimes you don't have the agility to keep up with the defensive end who's looking to wreak havoc in the backfield, and he got there and put his man on the ground.
On is the punter, Cook, who sends it away. Landry now on the return. A pretty good punt, but a nice 13-yard return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Here now, time to discuss Odell Beckham Jr. Seems like the measuring stick for a receiver for a great game is 100 yards. Well, he's well past that now.
And as we analyze how he's getting them, that's where it really becomes fun because, let's face it, they keep sending coverage at him, keep trying to put the pressure on, yet he finds ways downfield and finds openings. That's a really crafty receiver.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. A little too much extracurricular there.
When you have a game with a lot of contact, tensions are going to run pretty high. You're going to be emotional, but you have to harness it somehow, and he didn't on that play.
Following the penalty, Chubb. And he'll be brought down just outside of the 30. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. Play fake. Mayfield. Flush to his right. He completes it to Beckham. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. He's been big. 2 touchdowns earlier. Now he's got a first down here. Mayfield now. Being chased out left. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Baker Mayfield, a 13-yard touchdown run. And the Browns have moved out in front. Well, the defensive coverage was good, so good he just decided to make a play of his own, and it worked out.
Yeah, you often wonder if they think to themselves, was the coverage too good to allow him to run the football? I think you'd rather take your chances with him doing exactly that, and he beat him on that play all the way to the end zone.
McLaughlin for the extra point. And they will take a 7-point lead now. Scoring summary, 3-play drive. And it's capped off by a 13-yard touchdown run. Kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away. This taken in at the goal line. And all deep in his own territory. He coughs up the football. And this is picked up by the Browns. And down inside the red zone at the 19-yard line. And careless with a football there on the kick return.
And one thing I love about going to practices is trying to get around coaches and hear their catchphrases and what they really emphasize. We haven't been to a single one yet this year where a guy fielding a kick, you don't hear, tuck it away, tuck it away, tuck it away. And this time, they turned it over.
Ball security eluded him. So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. Here's Mayfield. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. The Pro Bowler Odell Beckham, the intended receiver. But it'll be 2nd down. Mayfield hands it off to Chubb. He'll get forward for 3 down to the 16-yard line. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Play action now. Here's Mayfield. He's going to get this one out to his fullback. And he's got the first down as he gets it to the 8. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains. So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. They'll run with Chubb, and he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up 2nd and goal. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there, and if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle, keep coming after them, put the pressure on them.
And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. It'll be a gain of 5, and it's going to set up a 3rd and goal. Chubb. And he takes this one in for a Browns score. Nick Chubb, his 19th touchdown now of the season. And the Browns add on to their lead, and it's looking like that win streak is going to extend another week. Just power football there, down near the goal line. Give it to him. He's able to push his way across.
Yeah, they went heavy there. Sometimes you have those big offensive linemen come in, have to report like they're eligible, but all they're doing is getting a good stance, blocking, and getting their runner across the goal line.
McLaughlin now to add the PAT. And the lead is up to 14. That time a 6-play drive. And Nick Chubb the one to finish it off as he does so with a touchdown run. Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away. And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. Baltimore about ready to go on offense. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Here's Jackson. To Boyle here over the middle. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. They'll contain him to just 4. 2nd down. Jackson. He'll swing this out to Dobbins. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. 7 yards there and a 1st down. 4th quarter, every drive so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the 2nd touchdown. You got the 1st one for the 2nd one to even matter.
And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete.
We've seen that the deep ball's been a part of their game plan all afternoon, but they've had trouble hooking up on it, unable to successfully find the end zone over the top.
Jackson now. He wants it all for the end zone. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Troy Hill picks it. And he will take it on out to the 20-yard line.
And here in the 4th quarter, defensively, you know that you're just going to blanket the field with defensive backs and saying, okay, take your best shot. And that time, it's intercepted.
And we've often seen teams go into the prevent early, way too early, and sometimes they get too soft in their coverages, but not in this case. They understood the situation and played it with the proper aggression.
And as this offense makes their way back out, it's AFC playoff race time as we give you a look. And I tell you, 4 weeks still to go, and everything is wide open, and it's fun.
And I know we always talk about, well, if the playoffs were to begin today, and then we kind of go, okay, but they're not. Let's see how it plays out. Wouldn't it be fun to play with this playoff lineup right now? Because to me, just about anyone can win this whole thing out of this grouping we currently have. And by the time we get there, it may look entirely different.
And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up 2nd down. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
On 2nd down, right back to Hunt.
And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. Down under 2 minutes to go in this football game. Now, this is a big 3rd down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here. They'll try to run for the 1st down with Hunt. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. And now with 1:52 to go, we get another pause in the action. A timeout here defensively. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Running with Hunt here out of the shotgun. And he's going to bowl his way forward to the 48. The Ravens going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. So they come up on 2nd down. If they can get another run like we just saw, would likely put an end to this thing. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. Ravens going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Mayfield off the play fake. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side.
And this is incomplete. Oh, it looked like he had a pretty good line on that one. That would have been a big play, but he could not pull it in.
And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on fourth. And he's not even going to come close to picking up the first. They stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Kareem Hunt stops short of the sticks. And this defense will take over right at midfield. So they'd converted their first 2 fourth-down attempts. Not there. Now they're 2 for 3.
You think maybe the offense coordinator expended a little capital on that one? You know, when you're 2 for 2, you can lock it for that third one, right? Didn't get it there. Maybe now the head coach might not be so eager to go for it as we go forward.
3 yards the gain there, second down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Throwing, Jackson.
And this is intercepted, and that should do it.
Picked off by the rookie Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah.
And a return across midfield and to the 46-yard line.
Well, obviously, Charles, this stage of the game, down 2 scores, they had to put the football in the air. Unfortunately, it gets picked off.
And the criticism comes easily in situations like this, but you just laid it out. Look where they are on the scoreboard. Look at where the clock is in the game. He has to take a chance here and try and get the ball downfield to his receivers. Unfortunately, it was picked off.
Coming right, this is Chubb on the toss. And that play goes nowhere. Taken down, losing yardage at the 50, right at midfield. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be second down. So instead of running, Mayfield's going to throw it here. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Calais Campbell make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
Brandon, that's just football 101. If you're out of the pocket, you've got to get rid of the football in this situation. You cannot take a sack in a 2-minute drill.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And pressure coming, and they got him once again.
And it has been a good game for them. They haven't been pressured very much today, but on back-to-back sacks, maybe the defense is starting to figure something out.
So Cleveland able to come away with the victory here. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second-half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
So for the Browns, the win moves them to 12-1 now on the year. And they'll get another home date next week as the Raiders will come to town.